Well, it's good coming to you. Um, I had a guest coming from Irvington, young lady named Medina that owned IHOP in Irvington. So we pray that she get here. Again, if you're listening to us on the radio, Adina is 120 West 7th Street in Arlington, right at the PSE&G building. But anyway, get on the news. I guess I might as well try to fill in a little bit. I hope I don't have to fill in a whole half an hour. But with the things that happened in New York with Governor Spitzer, it's a shame that it went like that. We pray for his family that it all went down to that level. You know, I thought a year or so ago when you put him in office, he pretty good, seemed to be a pretty good character, and he seemed like he was going to really make some changes in New York and everything. And I imagine it, changes that he put forth will come through with the new guy. The lieutenant governor. Can't think of his name at this moment, but it was good to see his wife still standing by him at that time. You often say that behind every good man there's a good woman, and it seemed like the women seem to stand behind them. Politicians, I don't know what they doing that us other men don't do, but they seem to really stand by. We seen the same thing with McGreevy wife. She was on Dana, I think her name is. She was on Larry King Live last night. They were talking about the situation that happened with Governor Spitzer, and also the prostitute or high class call girl came on also, and she talked a little bit, and the many more that came on and talked about this high level prostitution thing that's going on, and we know about these things, how they are for hire, but I often say to the people that I don't think it's worth it. I know you get your little shadow little funds and everything, but to give life away like that and to be ultimately played at the end of the day is something that I just think that you would probably could find better counsel in trying to become a doctor than playing that role. But so many people will fall for that role and everything. They would definitely go for that role. And we see that a lot and everything. I just hope that not only did the state learn from it in the country, I just hope that also those that try to cultivate young women into this behavior, I would hope also that they themselves would take a look and see that that right there is definitely kin to being a slave, as you will, to play that game, that prostitution game and everything. I only hope that you could be inspired by a lot of this freedom that's going on, and perhaps do something different with your life, because it's just a shame that at the end of the game, no matter what, you always lose. It was a rich baron, and I believe in England. I think he was Spitzer was number 9. I think he was number 4 or something like that. And, he just basically bellowed out his words that I don't know what you're talking about. That's what he said. He said he didn't know anything what he talking about, but he got so much money, no one is ever going to hold him to count, for that. And I often, try to counsel the young ladies on this here, and men that, would approach a prostitute. I go back, since I'm filming the show today, because I thought Adina would be here from IHOP in Irvington, but maybe somehow the schedule got mixed up, so I'll fill in. I go back to many years ago. I owned a white truck myself, and I never forget that. I never forget that moment of challenge, I imagine, that took place. I went to get crabs in one of these large cities. I need not call the cities because they have people, ladies at night in all these cities, And I remember stopping at the light, young lady approached my truck, and I imagine she thought because I had a truck that I was looking to seek pleasure in hiring her. And she gestured for me, and I told her I'm not interested. Yeah, rolled the window down, so not interested and everything. And then she looked at me and she said, with strong voice, give me $1. You know what I mean? So I said, all right, you can have $1. I reached in my wallet and gave her $1. Now it was a quiet street, so church don't get out misconstrued. Just happened where I get the crowd from. The street is coming up to the main road. It's just a little quiet. And not the place I hang out. And I remember the young lady asking me to give her $1, so I gave her $1. And I think she was shocked that I did not seek comfort in her tool, I imagine, at that moment. And then she looked at me and she said to me, church, she said, take me with you. And I looked back at her, and she was serious. And I looked back at her, church, and I wasn't a reverend at the time. Let's go back many years ago. I looked back at her, the lady of night, and I said to her these words. I said, not like that. Now, what did I mean, not like that? I believe that everybody have a price in so much. My price is basically marching in these marches. I like to march. I like to, have the picture taken in the paper. I like that right there. And I march with some of these organizations here, Plainfield, POP, and a few others. And I enjoy marching and things, especially when I think that the issue is right. I feel like Dr. King, I'm out there marching. But what was I really saying to the young lady? I was actually saying that we all have a price, but it's a dignified way in which to do everything. Perhaps if you cleaned up a little or whatever, and I met you in a different setting, I wouldn't hold this against you. But at that moment there, I had no other choice but said I could not at all, take the young lady with me. And where would I go at the time? Young man, I didn't know where would I go. I guess some people, I didn't know where I would go, but I had no place to take her, church. I didn't have no place to take her, But the idea was this here is that, I actually looked at her and just said, not like that. Because I knew that you could do something better. Once I get the church what's happening now, get a structure and everything, I'm going to hold class on a lot of things that happen in society. I go back to the old way of Dr. King said we have to bridge church, religion, philosophy, and science together. I believe that that's very, very, very important. And I want to touch on a lot of these issues, a lot of these things that the human mind is capable of stepping into, that it does step into. I want to touch these things because, it's something. I want to teach a course. I often said I wanted to teach a course on hoology and everything. People say, well, what is hoology? Well, working for a price and everything. I think that it's very important to be able to talk about these things, and that way we can talk people out of things. We are in a society today that, at one time we might have walked stiff, and stiff-necked, and the way the society is structured, we were able to be breaded out of things. And I know that there's a better way to riches, and there's a better way to honor. There's a better way to pleasure. There's a better way to peace. I know a long, good life could come with riches, could come with honor, could come with pleasure and peace, but not at the expense of destroying others. And this right here is what we have with this